you said, and I quote, rehabbing an injury is very similar to training to build muscle.
Yep.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So the main concept behind why I say it like that is because injury rehab, I feel like to the average person has been categorized as something that you can only learn if you go to PT school or you go to school for it,
Yeah.
number one. And
It's
then
a lot of gatekeeping around
yeah,
it. Yeah.
gatekeeping. And then to the average person, it almost comes off as something like, oh, I need this specific exercise with the band and then this ball and then, or this specific program, or how am I going to progress this if I don't know, like, all these different things that get thrown at you, that's basically like fear mongering in
Yes.
regards to, don't do this too soon, or you're going to re-injure yourself type
Yep.
of thing. And so I have to credit Ben Patrick as the
Oh, man.
as the first person to really open my mind to this
Yeah.
idea of rehabbing or injury prevention is actually really, really simple. It's just the idea of understanding progressive overload to some degree, but then understanding how to regress and then scale forward an exercise. And any exercise can be a rehab exercise. I think that was one of
Yes.
the coolest things to really understand is, if you hurt your knee and you go to a PT clinic or whatever, you might see them do a handful of different exercises. Some of them would be good, some of them would be questionable. But at the end of the day, a lot of times you ask somebody like, oh, I can't squat anymore because I hurt my knee, or I shouldn't squat anymore because I had this knee injury. Like, no. Because the squat, like, if really, like, as humans, just like your kids out there, they can have this perfect squat, I bet. Like, ass to grass on the
Yeah,
floor.
it's amazing.
Yeah, there's no reason as adults we should ever lose that. And so the last two knee injuries that I had, for one, I did the PT all on my own for myself. And my main thing up front, and one of my first goals, like, I got to get back to a full range of motion squat again. And whether that's under a barbell or with a weight in front of me or just my body weight alone, I have to progress to a full body weight squat. Why? Because with this knee injury, if I can get it to be able to squat all the way down and all the way up again, then that kind of unlocks this whole canvas of other things that I can do, or other things that I can progress once that full range of motion squat is completed. And so to bring up the point of what you said, that I said, is if you think about building muscle, it's like you go into the gym and you train a little bit harder than you did the week before. So you might do a little bit more weight, a little bit more reps, a little bit more of whatever, but not too much, and ideally not less than what you did prior, so you can keep the progression going forward. Break muscle down, give your body a stimulus so that it responds and gets a little bit stronger the next week. To me, it's all about giving your body stimulus. And so at the point with my last knee injury, if I could only hit, like, say, a 90-degree squat before my knee got really, really tight, then giving it the stimulus of, say, some long iso holds in a say like a box squat or something like that, or with like a med ball to my chest, holding that position for sets of 10 seconds, gave my knee the stimulus to then allow a little bit more range of motion and a little bit more strength the next week. Very similar to the process of building muscle over time. So if you break it down to a very simple scale of just try a little bit harder than you did the week before and do that consistently over time, you'll find that rehab is so much more simple than what it's made out to be. And I always use pain as kind of a scale to let you know if you're doing something good or not. And usually, like, say I'm working with a client and they're working through an injury. We could be doing something. I'm like, do you feel pain doing this? Yeah, a little bit. Out of 10, what would you say? Like a 2 or 3. Okay, good. Let's keep it there for this week. We're on a good track. If you're feeling 2 or 3, that's good, because your body's starting to tell you, like, hey, don't go any lower because I'm about to do that, that type of thing. There's a lot of communication that goes on from your body that if you know how to stop and listen to it, it'll tell you where the right place is to stop for that given week. So for me, it was like going down to a point of a squat. Okay, I feel like a 2 out of 3 pain here. I'm going to do holds here. If I bring it to like a 6 or a 7, I might be kind of sore the next day, but I'm not going to re-injure myself. But if I keep it a 2 or 3 consistently and take a 90-degree squat to a 2 or 3, and then eventually a full range of motion squat to a 2 or 3, and eventually the pain's not there anymore, then that's kind of giving your body the time that it needs to heal and then also strengthen again to give you access to those ranges of motion. So that's really my idea with it, is that it's very simple, and then also don't stray away from pain. And the last point that I'll make is when it comes to the idea that you could be re-injuring yourself in the gym, say if you're going out on your own trying to rehab a shoulder or a knee, my opinion is that it's extremely hard to re-injure, let's say, your knee if you're out in the gym doing your own thing. You would have to try really, really, really hard to re-injure, say, an ACL or whatever, if you're in the gym trying to do like a box squat or something like that. Because, you know, like generally you're given, like just like I was, don't walk until week this, and don't run until week this, and don't squat until week this, right? Not to say that those aren't based off of legitimate statistics to some degree, but not everyone's going to be the same, especially not if you're an athlete coming in. So the thing that I always rely on is like, am I able to perform X movement at a 2 or 3 or less pain? And do I feel confident in doing it? And then just build off of that week to week to week. So
I think many people look at rehab as this, like it's supposed to be very low intensity. Mm-hmm. They look at, I have an injury. Like even when people say, oh, my back hurts, oh, this hurts, like, do you have an easy stretch for me? I'm like, that's a misnomer. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily the way that you're going to end up feeling better. And whenever people have an injury, they're like, what stretches can I do every day for this? I'm like, it's interesting to me that that's your go-to. And I think it's often what people have been told and led to believe: do this stretch every day, social media post, do this stretch every day, and your back is going to feel better. But that's not how it works. In the same way, it's like, hey, I want to build muscle. What exercise should I do every day? It's like, you want to build muscle, you're going to train this muscle group like once, maybe twice a week, really fucking hard. Right. And then you're going to rest. Yeah. If you want to improve an injury, you're going to train that muscle to a level of intensity that's difficult for you with minimal pain. There might be some, but not none. There will be some pain, and you're going to try and get better with that, and then you're going to rest and let it recover. And people think about physical therapy or rehab, and they think of these like easy band exercises. And I'm like, I completely agree with you. If your face isn't contorting a little bit, if you're not struggling to complete these repetitions, you're probably not working hard enough to create the change that you actually want to happen. Right. And if you have pain, if you have discomfort, if you have an injury, then the level of intensity is going to be different than when, or the absolute weight will be different than when you were maybe at your peak performance. But the level of intensity that you're supposed to bring to that should be more or less equivalent. It should be very challenging. It should not be like la-da-da-da-da, easy to do. It should be very challenging for you so you can get those adaptations. Yeah, and
which goes to our point from earlier, like quality reps.
Yes. Yeah. And as you were saying in regard to, you want to get to that full squat, you want to get to that full range. I think many people might be like, well, why is that? Why is that? Well, if you don't get there, and if your body doesn't use it, I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it type of thing. If you don't train your body, and especially your brain and your nervous system, to know like, oh no, I need access to this, then it's not going to give you access to it. Yeah. And that's when pain is going to get worse. And even more importantly, that's when fear is going to get worse. Fear of these movements, fear of these ranges of motion. And that's why I think as soon as you can, building strength to develop these ranges of motion as quickly as possible, and strength within these ranges, so you're no longer scared of them. So you can teach your body and your brain like, this is okay. Yeah. Like, I'm safe here.